So, welcome back to consecutive day 1229 diary on a Runpreneur. And today's episode, I want to talk to you about tapering for a marathon when doing a running streak. So remember to give this a subscribe, share, like and comment so more people get in front of. With all money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children, trying to the ultra marathon. All the information about the challenge, how you can get involved, in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 1229 on the diary of a Runpreneur. And today's topic is tapering for a marathon when undertaking a running streak. So, first and foremost, what is tapering? Well, it's basically reducing your volume of exercise or stress through your legs in the build up to an endurance event. So usually the tapering process occurs about 2 weeks prior to running a marathon or an ultra marathon, and then you normally have at least a week, possibly two, or possibly even up to a month of recovery afterwards. And that's the kind of normal. The idea being is that with your legs, you want to try and give them be as fresh as you possibly can when undertaking a race. And so, obviously, that tapering methodology, there's a lot of evidence that supports it, justifies that it's the way to get maximum performance out of the body and endurance event. And kind of proven, pretty much. Everyone kind of follows it when they're doing marathon training plans. Kind of build up, start slow, build up and up and up and up and up. When you peak, maybe 4 weeks before the marathon, you gradually start tapering down, but still doing quite a lot of mileage. 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, and then 2 weeks out it really drops, and you're basically on the just doing as little as possible just to keep your legs ticking over and fresh for the marathon ahead, or the endurance event ahead. Now, so that is best practice by all accounts. So if you're doing a running streak where you run every day, clearly that doesn't apply. Well, it can apply in certain instances, depending on the rules and regulations around your running streak. There are obviously, you set your own rules generally. But my rules are, I'm trying to get around the world in distance, which is 40,075 kilometres by my 50th birthday. So I have to maintain pretty much a 7.5 to 8 kilometre daily average in order to achieve that, based on the number of days I have. So my daily average is generally 7.5 kilometres. That's what I've averaged over the past 1,229 days. So I do quite a lot of mileage, whereas other people do running streaks where the minimum is a mile. My minimum acceptable is 5 kilometres, so 3.1 miles. But over the course of the last 3.5 years, I've probably done less than 7 kilometres, less times than I can count on the single hand. So I'm pretty consistent in what I do. The challenges though of that is that, I've done marathons, ultra marathons, half marathons as part of this running streak. And the problem is I'm generally turning up to them with fatigued legs, which is not, my legs are in a constant state of fatigue. Now, it's a very condition that you get hardened to, that the body adapts to. So my leg function is a slightly less optimal condition on a continual basis. But when you're doing events and challenges that push you to the limit, obviously that anyway, that obviously creates another challenge you have to overcome. Not only are you undertaking an incredibly challenging endurance event, you're doing it with legs on the start line that feel a little bit jaded at times. It's a horrible feeling. Now, I've done it a few times now, so I'm not, I'm pretty well used to it now. So how do I counteract that? Well, ultimately I don't ever get a rest day. So I have to rest and recover in different ways. So ultimately what I do is I reduce the speed that I run at. I kind of do a very gentle trot and just do something that feels really comfortable. So I put as little stress as I possibly can through it, and then I'm usually on the day before the endurance event, I will be one of those days where I do a 5 kilometre run. That's generally how I operate. So what I've done in this week up to race day, I've actually been well out. I mean, I've done one longest run in my whole 8-week marathon training plan. That was last Sunday, so Sunday before marathon day, where I did a half marathon. I trained through a method called Canada, which I've talked about in previous episodes, which is taking your weekly mileage or kilometres that you run, and the average pace that you cover that weekly mileage spits out, the algorithm spits out a predicted amount of time. Now, the idea is that you can run 1 kilometre a week at the speed of light, or run 100 kilometres a week at the speed of a snail, and you have a similar cardio level to achieve a set amount of time. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but then when you're doing your plan, you can say, right, I'm going to commit to 800 miles a week. It tells you what pace you need to average over the 8 weeks prior to the marathon, giving yourself a rest day, a rest week, 7 days to the race day. So my marathon training plan finished last Sunday, but I'm still, not Sunday just gone, sorry, I'm still running now. And this is my tapering. So whereas most people would maybe do one run this week, really slow, I'm running every day still doing my 7.5 kilometre daily average. So what have I done this week? Well, ultimately I'm running a lot slower, so I'm just trotting around at a very comfortable, leisurely pace to keep my legs ticking over, so I'm not putting any unnecessary stress through them. On the Wednesday, yesterday, I did a probably slightly quicker than marathon pace, a 7.5 kilometre, just to keep my legs muscle memory remembering what it feels like. Another slow one today. I'm averaging just over 6 minutes kilometres. And then tomorrow, on the Friday before race, I'll probably do another 7.5 kilometres at about marathon pace. And then Saturday, a very slow 5k. And I'll do my 5k on Saturday very early in the morning. I have to rest me, that's not ideal either, but family life comes into play. So I'll do it. So I'm going to get up early, get my 5k in super early, so I get the best part of 24 hours of doing nothing on my legs to give them a bit more recovery than they usually have prior to the race. And then I'll rest the match and try and do as much running as we can refereeing the match, which is difficult, but it should be fine. And then I'll be ready for the race day on Sunday. So yeah, it's a very different style of tapering, and then the week after the marathon, I'm obviously out the day after. Now, I mean, if you ever run your first marathon, you probably struggle to walk for a week. It puts that much duress on you. But I'm fairly used to the kind of strain and stresses of running regularly now. So it's not too bad for me. I will still be very stiff and sore, but when I do the marathon, when I do the next day's run, I'll just again do it very, very slow, very gingerly, just trot round, get loose in the legs, and then I'll be back into the swing of things. But certainly for the next week or so, or for the foreseeable, because I'm not got any races planned, I'll drop my pace right back down to kind of 5 minutes, 45 kilometre pace, probably, or 9 minute miles, probably where I'll sit very comfortably over the winter season. And then when I hit my race I'm going to do in spring, the 8 weeks before, I'll then up my pace again. So I try and not put any unnecessary stress and pressure through my legs when I don't need to. But yeah, the learnings from my diary are, if you are doing running streaks, you can absolutely still do endurance events, marathons, ultra marathons, etc. You just have to create a new process which takes into effect or consideration what best practice is. The tapering method is generally seen as best practice for endurance events. If you're running streaks, you can't really do that, but you can do a kind of hybrid version of it. So you're tapering and then you're slowing your pace right down. You might be shortening the distance depending on what your running streak is about, and you'll do lots of recovery running. So running at a pace like I'm running today, which is 6-minute kilometres, just gives me kind of, it's just legs ticking over, keeps them loose, keeps them active, and it's almost like a dynamic stretching kind of technique, if you like. And then you also have to factor in recovery running for after the event. So listen to your body is ultimately what you need to do. You try and give it as much breath as you can within the confinement of your actual running trip. To do that, hopefully you'll still be able to do endurance events and enjoy them, or try to enjoy them, and hope that's useful. So, any questions, comments, drop your line. I'll respond to everyone. Remember to give us a subscribe, share, like, and comment so we can get in front of the woman who raised save the life of children, the ultimate ultramarathon, and the information about the challenge taking involved in the link on the first. Thank you as always. Stay happy.